And I want to urge the President and urge you, Mr. President, the Senate should urge the President to take another look at the budget for FEMA. FEMA needs money because we need money to maintain our roads. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. President. People to know that the roads in Abia State, especially Bende, Abam, Ohafia Road, Buyo Airport, to go back home because between EHO and other people have been cut off. They cannot even go to their villages now. So I also use the opportunity to thank the Minister of Works who have just directed the new contractors that came back to do maintenance work on the HUR to Aruchukwu Road. And this country has a lot at stake. We have bitumen in Ondo State, and we have bitumen in Isu in Aruchukwu local government. Why can federal government call it, make it a must that we must develop our bitumen sites to be able to stop importing bitumen from abroad? We have to insist the quantity and quality. Quality is one of the best in Nigeria in the world. So why are we not developing our bitumen sites so we can use this bitumen to be able to maintain our roads? Because we're importing bitumen. Now prices of bitumen went from 29,000 naira to almost 70,000 naira. So federal government must be going that the Senate and the Committee on Works and Committee on FEMA must also maintain the stand with an NPC to be able to invest jointly to develop the size of bitumen. Moreover, you can see the road between Uturu and Ebonyi State. It's not maintained. And heavy trailers are going there to carry chippings and other raw minerals from Nigeria. We need the support of FEMA and the support of federal government. Colleagues from River State have just mentioned between Aba and Port Harcourt. It's terrible that there are over 1,000, 2,000 containers going there on a daily basis. If you go now, there are about 200 containers on the road that are stuck on the bad roads. So, and there are petroleum products being carried to Port Harcourt refinery from Indorima refinery in Eleme to the north. And they go there, you see drivers. The other day I went there, I saw over 200 vehicles carrying tankers going to the north. They cannot go because of bad roads. So I think the road issue is not only the issue of one side of the country, it's the issue that goes beyond any side of the. When you go to any other place, the same story. So federal government should make effort with the new budget system to be able to invest money on it, especially in developing our bitumen. Thank you, Mr. President.
Yes, Thank you, Mr. President. Ogi Omo Agege, Delta Central Senatorial District. Mr. President, I rise to align myself with the position taken by the mover of this motion, and indeed all of the submissions made by my colleagues. Mr. President, frankly, I wasn't really going to say anything. And the reason I wasn't going to say anything that this is fast becoming like a ritual. Not too long ago, I believe last week, my colleague from those states, my brother Senator Clifford Odia, I believe was the one who brought emotion, raising the challenges posed by the decay and dilapidation, not only in the roads connecting those states to Kogi, but also, and I remember also in my contribution, alluding to the same dilapidation in the roads connecting Edo and Delta State. Mr. President, at the conclusion of that debate, there was what I would like to call a generic prayer that was approved. But Mr. President, I'm beginning to wonder that for as long as we continue to make this generic generic prayers, nothing is being done. So I decided to rise today, Mr. President, taking into account that on Friday, Mr. President will be here to present the budget. And also taking into account the fact that, yes, this is going to be one of the most challenged budgets that's ever come before us. Knowing full well that most of the ministries are only going to be receiving about a third of what they received, in the last budget. But with that as it may, Mr. President, I am wondering if it will not be the best option to take to not to compare, but to request the Ministry of Works and the Minister of Finance in this budget presentation to actually focus more on rehabilitation. Focus more on rehabilitation of these failed routes as opposed to putting money into, I hate to say, even completion, as envisaged, under the current budget. I ordinarily wouldn't be opposed to providing money to complete roads already under construction. But Mr. President, I think at this time, we need to focus more first, without prejudice for the most part, on providing money for completion of those roads. But I think emphasis now, Mr. President, should be provision of money in the FEMA, so that they can at least carry out repairs, on these dilapidated portions before voting money, for either new routes or completion of the existing ones. Mr. President, I think we should take this very, very seriously. If nothing else from this debate, I think that should be what we should come away with, as opposed to just commit to the prayers, which is, like I said, generic in the sense that we had this last week, we can have it again today, we may have it again tomorrow. But I think we should emphasize, Mr. President, on the rehab in this budget through the budgetary allocation to FEMA. Thank you, Mr. President, for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, distinguished colleagues. Before we go to the prayers, let me say that the issue of roads, deplorable conditions of roads is all over the country, like all of us here agreed. The issue is, how do we sustainably maintain our roads? Because this is an every year occurrence. In the rainy season, many roads fail. There is no part of this country that has not suffered from failure of roads and bridges, especially in the last 2 months or so. And this happens almost every year. It means we have to be prepared. It means we have to be prepared. We have to have sustainable mechanisms for maintaining our roads. I believe that the bill that will deal this problem, a great blow, is to have the roads, the National Road Bill, signed into law. Only yesterday we had very brief engagement with the Minister of Finance, and the CBN governor urging them to go and look for money. Most of our roads are failed, and we must have roads. Otherwise, our situation, both security and economic situation, will continue to deteriorate. Because this infrastructure is so critical to economic development and to a large extent, to even giving us security that we need. We are going to push for that, and the Minister of Works, of course, will have to see how do they get some funds, more funds, because at the moment, the 2023 appropriation may not be as good as 2022. One of our colleagues here have said already that for most of the MDS, they have gotten 1/3, some even less than 1/3 of what they got for 2022. So we are restricted and constrained in terms of our revenues. So we have to find sustainable mechanisms through which we maintain our roads. Let's go to the prayers. There are two prayers. Prayer 1, the Senate committees on works and FEMA to jointly investigate the condition of interstate roads in Ekiti. I said you have already said the roads have problems. So maybe we don't need an investigation. I don't think we need it's already established. But there's an amendment. Who is amending? Senator Abamoro.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name remains Senator Abamoro. I represent the good people of the Benue South Senatorial District. Mr. President, without prejudice to your explanation that the problems are established, going by this prayer, I want to propose an amendment as follows: that the Senate committees on works and FEMA do jointly investigate the inter and intra-state roads in Nigeria.
No, I don't think intra is appropriate. Intra is supposed to be state roads. No. Intra is supposed to be state roads.
Some of the roads in the states are federal.
Okay, I need a seconder. I need a seconder. If there's no seconder, okay, there's no seconder. Amendment, Barrow Jibril. Amendment ID Young, Senator ID Young.
Thank you, Mr. President. The amendment I have is an additional one, that a strategic road be identified in each of the 6 geopolitical zones for immediate intervention and inclusion in the 2023 budget.
I need a seconder. No seconder. Amendment.
This one now. Yellow.
Yeah.
Senator Dadut.
Mike.
I am Nora Dadut, representing Plateau South Senatorial District. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I want to suggest this amendment as follows. That is for prayer number 1, that the Senate committees on works and FEMA to jointly
expedite work on the present interstate roads in Ekiti State. And in Nigeria,
Any seconder?
and in Nigeria at large.
Professor, you are protected. Any seconder? Senator Bello Mandia.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. My name is Bella Mandia, John Partners House. I rise upon the amendment as moved by Senator Dadler. Thank you.
Those in favor of prayer 1 as amended by Senator Professor Nora Ladi Dadut, Plateau South, say aye. Those against, say nay. The names have it. Amendment. Senator Michael Amai Nachi.
Thank you, sir. I'm Senator Michael Nachi from my boys' house. My amendment in 1. Still, my amendment is in prayer 1. Yes, you have not finished. So my amendment is the Senate Committee on Works and FEMA to jointly investigate the conditions of federal roads in the country and come up with a method that can give it a lasting solution. So,
Distinguished colleagues, I think we have taken too many amendments that could not see the light of the day. If you ask me, prayer 1 is not even necessary. Honestly, probably that's why we are not able to amend it. So I would advise Senator Olubimi Adetumbi that you step down prayer 1, withdraw it, and then we take 2 and amend it. Yes, we amend 2, but first let him move.
Mr. President, GCON, I hereby step down prayer 1 in consideration for a holistic prayer that addresses the condition of roads in the country.
Thank you very much. So, distinguished colleagues, in effect, there is only one prayer now. That's prayer 2. And let me read it. There is no additional prayer yet. Let's deal with this one. Urge the Minister of Works and Housing. This is the prayer. Urge the Minister of Works and Housing to address the deplorable condition of federal roads in Ekiti State. Amendment. Senator Mamel Sani Musa. Senator Mamel Sani Musa, amendment.
Thank you, Mr. President. I think to amend this resolution,
Use your mic, please.
is on. To urge the Minister of Works and Housing to address the deplorable condition of federal roads in Nigeria.
I need a seconder. Senator Muhammad Adamu Bulkachua.
Mr. President, my name is Senator Adamu Muhammad Bulkachua, representing Bauchi North. And I rise to second the motion moved by Senator Abdullah Musa, Sani Musa, who is the amendment which says to repair the roads in Nigeria, in the whole country, not just in one state. Thank you.
Distinguished colleagues, I don't want us to lose the essence of the motion. Let's do justice to Senator Adetunbi. So we are not going to leave other parts of the country, but in Ekiti and other parts of the country, if you agree with that, just to protect is okay. Mohammed Sani Musa, rework the amendment.
See, make it Bauchi and Ekiti.
The amendment is to urge the Minister of Works and Housing to address the deplorable condition of federal roads in Ekiti State and other parts of Nigeria. Thank you, Mr. President.
Okay, the civil Senator Mohammed Adamu Bulkachua, you second, because you seconded the first one.
Yes, Mr. President, I, Senator Adamu Mohammed Mukachua, representing Bauchi North, do rise to second the motion moved by Senator Abdullah Musa that Sani Musa, federal roads.
What? Did you second the motion? Oh. Okay. Distinguished colleagues, our only prayer has been amended by Senator Mohammed Sani Musa and seconded by Senator Mohammed Adam Bulkachua. And hold on. We have to vote on this prayer first. Then we'll go to additional prayer. So those in favor of the only prayer as amended, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Additional prayer. Senator Matthew Urogide.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I'm Senator Matthew Urogide. I represent the South Central District. Mr. President, my additional prayer is this. I urge the Ministry of Works and Housing to review the design and quality of federal roads in Nigeria, taking into consideration the peculiarity of our environment. Mr. President, if you allow me to...
No, it's okay. It's not a debate. It's an additional prayer, and I'm sure it's understood. The single Senator Samegu.
Mr. President, Sam Ebony not. Mr. President, I rise to second the motion as proposed by Distinguished Senator Matthew Urogide. That's no second.
Secretary, they have gotten the additional prayer. Distinguished colleagues, those in favor of the additional prayer by Senator Matthew Urogide and seconded by Senator Sam Egu, say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Additional prayer. Deputy Senate Leader.
The additional prayer is urge the federal government to develop bitumen. Urge the federal government to develop the bitumen industry in Nigeria to reduce the cost of road construction.
Distinguished colleagues, Let's listen to our colleague in silence, please. Minority Whip, I think that side is a bit noisy. Uh, this, please, distinguished colleagues, you can discuss in low tones, please. But let's listen to our colleagues, please. Go on, Deputy Leader.
All the federal government to develop the bitumen deposit in Nigeria as proposed by the Sickle to reduce the cost of road construction in Nigeria.
Can I also say that we shouldn't just restrict it to the bitumen and other raw materials available in the country? I think for road construction, no, so you can put it if you like. If you want it, just bitumen, it's okay. But if you are going bitumen, maybe there are other raw materials that we.
So all the federal government is discussing to develop the bitumen deposit in Nigeria and other road construction materials to reduce the cost of road construction in the country.
Yes, Seconder, the chief whip.
Mr. President, I stand to second the motion ably moved by the Deputy Leader.
That's the point, because let me say what the additional prayer is for this side particularly. The additional prayer sought by the Deputy Senate Leader is urge the federal government of Nigeria to develop the bitumen. What bitumen? What? To develop the bitumen and other raw materials for road construction in Nigeria, just to make the bitumen sites. Okay, just to make it cheaper. So those in favor of this additional prayer say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The ayes have it. The additional prayer. The Honorable Senator Patrick Ayo Akinyelure.
Thank you, Mr. President. Distinguished colleagues, urge the state governments to be involved directly in interstate federal road rehabilitation in their respective states in collaboration with federal Ministry of Work towards recovery of costs associated with completion.
You are protected. You are protected. Any seconder. The solution, Akinyelure. Your additional prayer, the motion is dead. Additional prayer, Senator Uche, Dakundefe.
Mr. President, thank you very much. No matter the drama and the support we give to this motion, the most important thing is funding. Without funding,
Give us the additional prayer.
President, to urge the federal government to extend NMPC tax credit scheme to maintenance of road through FEMA as a support.
Is there any seconder? Any seconder? No seconder. Any seconder? Okay. Senator Francis Ali Makena.
Mr. President, my name is Senator Francis Milena, representing the good people of Edo North. I write to
The Honorable Senator Uche, please. Is seconding a motion.
I write to second the motion ably moved by the additional prayer ably moved by Senator Oyekwin.
Okay. I will put the question. Those in favor of the motion for additional prayer by Senator Uche Lilian Ekwinife and seconded by Senator Francis Elimekena, say aye. Those against say nay. The nays have it. Additional prayer. Additional prayer, Senator Mohamed Aliru.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I name Muhammad Adamu Aliru, representing Kebbi Secretary. The last prayer is to implore the federal government of Nigeria to explore the possibility of using public-private partnership in road construction and road maintenance.
I need a seconder. The single Senator Christopher Stephen Ekpeyon.
Thank you, Mr. President of the Senate. My name is Senator Christopher Stephen Ekpeyon, representing the good people of Akwa Northwest in this great chamber. My distinguished colleague, Mr. President, I rise to second that brilliant additional prayer ably moved by distinguished Senator Alero. I so second.
Thank you very much. Distinguished colleagues, those in favor of the additional prayer by Senator Mohamed Adamu Aliru, seconded by His Excellency Senator Christopher Stephen Ekpeyon, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Thank you very much, distinguished colleagues. But truly, we have to make efforts to develop the raw materials that are available in our country for road construction, because that will make it cheaper and easier for us to maintain our roads. Thank you very much. Leader of the Senate.
Your Excellency, distinguished colleagues, the first business of the day is the presentation of the House bill standing in my name on the Federal College of Medical Laboratory Science and Technology, just Bill 2022 HB 1421. Mr. President, you may wish to invite the Clerk of the Senate to read the short title of the bill.
Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, Federal College of Medical Laboratory Science and Technology, JOS, Bill 2022, LP 1421, first reading.
Federal College of Medical Laboratory Science and Technology, JOS Bill 2022 HB 1421, first reading taken. Leader of the Senate.
Your Excellency, distinguished colleagues, the second business of the day is also the presentation of the House bill standing in my name on the Federal University of Education, Isiokolo, Delta State, Establishment Bill 2022 HB 1653. Mr. President, you may wish to invite the Clerk of the Senate to read the short title of the bill.
Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, Federal University of Education, Isiokolo Delta State Establishment Bill 2022, HB 1653, first reading.
Federal University of Education, Isiokolo Delta State Establishment Bill 2022, first reading taken. Leader of the Senate.
Your Excellency, distinguished colleagues, the third business of the day is the presentation of a bill standing in the name of Senator Engineer Muhammad Ali on the Chartered Institute of Facility Management Establishment Bill 2022 FB 191. Mr. President, you may wish to invite the Clerk of the Senate Read the short title of it.
Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, Chartered Institute of Facility Management Establishment Bill 2022, SB 191, first reading.
Chartered Institute of Facility Management Establishment Bill 2022, first reading taken. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the first business of the day is the presentation of a bill standing in the name of Senator Abuja Mohammed on the Pandemic Response and Management Bill 2022, SB 890. Mr. President, we wish to invite the Clerk of the Senate, please.
Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, Pandemic Response and Management Bill 2022, SB 890, first reading.
Pandemic Response and Management Bill 2022, SB 890, first reading taken. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the first business of the day is the presentation of a bill standing in the name of Senator Odia Clifford on the Nigerian Insurance Corporation Act, Amendment in 2022, SB 946. Mr. President, you may wish to invite the Clerk of the Senate to read the short title of the bill.
Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, Nigerian Reinsurance Corporation Act Amendment Bill 2022, SB 946, first reading.
Nigerian Insurance Corporation Act Amendment Bill 2022, SB 946, first reading taken. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the first order of the day is a motion standing in my name under the committee of the National Institute of Hospitality and Tourism, Establishment Bill 2022, to the Committee of the Whole. Mr. President, with your permission, I wish to move the motion.
You may proceed.
And was transmitted to the President for us. Observes that some fundamental issues which require fresh legislative action by both chambers of the National Assembly emerged after a critical emphasis of the bill by Mr. President, Commander-in-Chief. Aware that the Technical Committee of the Senate and the House of Representatives and Directorate of Legal Services met and worked on the bill, relying on Order 1, subsection B, and the Order 52, subsection 6 of Senate Standing Order 2022 as amended. Accordingly resolved to resign the decision of the bill as passed and recommit sowing to the Committee of the Whole for consideration and passage.
Have you finished moving your motion? Minority Leader.
Mr. President, I rise to second the motion as moved by the leader. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, I move that we resolve into Committee of the Whole.
Minority Leader.
Mr. President, I rise to second the motion as moved by the leader. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, those in favor of the motion that the Senate resolves into Committee of the Whole to consider the report say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Distinguished colleagues, this is not a controversial bill. So I'll be a little bit fast. Those in favor at clause 1, clause 2, clause 3, clause 4 functions of the institute, clause 5, clause 6, clause 7, clause 8, clause 9 and 10, and clause 10. Stand part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Clause 11, remuneration is on page 10 of the report. Those in favor at clause 11, clause 12, clause 13, clause 14, clause 15, clause 16, clause 17, clause 18, clause 19, and clause 20 stand part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Clause 21, investment of the fund of the institute on page 16 of the report. Those who were at clause 21, clause 22, establishment of housing scheme, clause 23, clause 24, clause 25, clause 26, clause 27, clause 28, clause 29, and clause 30. Stand part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes. Clause 31, registration of non-Nigerian practitioners on page 21. Clause 31. Those who are at clause 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. Stand part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Clause 41 is on page 28. Those who are at clause 41, clause 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50 stand part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those who vote at clause 51 on page 33, 52 and 53 stand part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those who vote at the interpretation on page 35 stand part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those who vote at the short title stand part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those who vote at the schedules 1, 2, and 3 stand part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those who vote at the explanatory memorandum on page 41 stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Those who vote at the long title on page 1 stands part of the bill say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it. Leader of the Senate, plenary.
The President, distinguished colleagues, I move that the Senate reverse the plenary and report progress. I so move.
Minority leader. Minority leader. Thank you. Those who vote at the Senate reverse plenary for the chair to report progress say aye. Those against say nay, the ayes have it.
If you don't say anything, say no, sit down. Very good.
Distinguished colleagues, The Senate in the Committee of the Whole considered the National Institute for Hospitality and Tourism Establishment Bill 2022 and approved as follows. Long title as recommended, clause 1 to 53 as recommended, interpretation as recommended, short title as recommended, schedules as recommended, explanatory memorandum as recommended. Is this a true reflection of what transpired in the Committee of the Whole? Thank you. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I move that the bill be read the third time. I so.
Minority Leader.
Mr. President, I rise to second the motion for the bill to be read the third time.
Distinguished colleagues, those in favor of the motion that this bill be now read the third time, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished senators, a bill for an act to establish the National Institute for Hospitality and Tourism for training, certification, and registration of hospitality, travel, and tourism personnel in Nigeria and for related matters 2022, third reading.
A bill for an act to establish the National Institute for Hospitality and Tourism for training, certification, and registration of hospitality, travel, and tourism personnel in Nigeria and for related matters 2022, third reading taken, and the bill is passed. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the second order of the day is a motion standing in my name for concurrence resolution on the use of excessive force and abuse due to process by Nigerian Air Force against Blue Bullbat Limited, adopted by the House of Representatives. The purpose of this motion is for the Senate to adopt a resolution of the House on the subject matters. Mr. President, with your permission, I wish to move the motion.
Leader, please. Before you move the motion, let me see you.
No, this one is gone. This one is not gone. I'm very written. This other one. I don't know.
Do you have any idea?
As the National Institute for Hospitality and Tourism Establishment Bill 2022, by nature and was transmitted to the President for his assent. But here on the other paper, the Senate decided to reconsider that bill, and it will be observed that the fundamental issues which require legislative action by both chambers of the National Assembly emerged after critical analysis and explanations of the bill by Mr. President. And today, the Senate has reconsidered the bill and then passed it. And any moment from now, we expect that the Senate will now go into the second item for consideration on the other paper, which is concurrence resolution. Well, this is a bill that the House of Representatives had already passed, but then the Senate will now have to concur on those resolutions of the House of Representatives. But there, President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, now it's making some engagement before taking up that next item. But before now, the Senate had taken a motion by Senator Olubimi Adetumbi on what he described as deplorable condition of roads in Ekiti State. and he was calling on the Minister of Works and Housing to address those bad roads. But then the Senate, in its wisdom, now said there are many of these kind of roads across the country, and because of that, that motion will not be limited to Ekiti State alone, and it now resolved that they will urge the Minister of Works and Housing to address all the deplorable roads in Ekiti and other states. That's all other parts of the country that have such situation. Now, President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, I think is now done with the engagement and consultations with the Deputy President of the Senate, and it appears they are now ready to continue with the other items on the order of the other paper.
Yeah, Mike, sir. Okay. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I move that we step down this for another legislative day.
Minority Leader. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I rise to second motion that we stand down this item on the order paper to another legislative day. And so second. Distinguished colleagues, those in favor of the motion that we stand down the consideration of this item on the order paper till another legislative day, say aye. Those against any dice. Leader, Senator Sakibo, you don't have to raise any point of order. I saw you with the Constitution and leader of the Senate.
The first order, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the first order of the day is the second reading of Nigerian Industrial Development Authority Establishment Bill 2022 SB 1050. Distinguished senators will recall that the bill was read the first time in this chamber on Tuesday, 4th October 2022. Mr. President, you may wish to invite Senator Musa Mohammed Sani to move the motion for the bill to be read the second time.
What happened to the first one? You say Mohammed Sani, the first one is step down too. Okay. Distinguished Senator Mohammed Sani Musa.
Thank you, Mr. President. My distinguished colleagues, I shall start the lead debate on this very important bill with the adage that no country has ever become rich by exporting raw materials and, in modern terms, advanced services sector. The more a country specializes in the production of raw materials, only the poorer it becomes. Industry multiples national wealth. This is a lead debate on a bill for an act to establish the Nigerian Industrial Development Authority and other matters connected therewith, 2022 SB 1050. This bill was read for the first time in this hallowed chamber on Tuesday, 4th September 2022. The bill therefore sets out to diversify the economy and address the fundamental infrastructural impediments that is hindering production activities in the country. Move the country beyond selling raw materials to a more value-added processing and manufacturing one. Create jobs, generate wealth, diversify the economy, boost exports, and broaden the tax base. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, since the early 60s, abundant oil and gas resources have brought billions of dollars into the coffers of the country, leading to a neglect of other sectors which traditionally provided employment for about 40% of the population and a nascent manufacturing industry. Revenues from oil have hampered efforts to diversify the economy, leading to economic stagnation and recently economic recession, which has brought about this all-important legislation. The main objectives of this bill are to: one, accelerate the build-up of industrial capacity within Nigeria; two, increase manufacturing contribution to Nigeria's gross domestic product; drive the process of intense industrialization based on sectors where Nigeria has comparative and competitive advantages. The implementation of the bill, among other things, will facilitate job and wealth creation, provide for economic and revenue diversification, ensure import substitution and export diversification, broaden government's tax effort or tax base. The bill is therefore one of the most ambitious pieces of legislation that puts together a comprehensive industrial plan to diversify the economy, achieve industrial growth, and reduce poverty. This bill will address the age-old constraints that have persistently limited manufacturing. If enacted into law, it will build up industrial infrastructure, prioritize power for industrial use, reduce borrowing, and mobilize funding for the real sector. It will also facilitate youth training in industrial skills, improve our investment climate, raise productive standards, link innovation to industry, and enhance local patronage of made in Nigeria goods. Mr. President, my respected colleagues, this bill will provide this country with a robust manufacturing sector that will offer opportunities to Nigeria and Nigerians in the following areas: potential to become #1 in Africa and top 10 globally in many industrial sectors; build up labor-intensive sectors; produce locally for domestic consumer markets; become the manufacturing hub for ECOWAS and Africa; attract investment from East Asia, where cost of labor has begun to rise; diversify exports. The bill focuses on revitalizing the entire value chain from production to distribution of priority sectors and subsectors of our economy. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, from the above analysis, your support for the bill is the support for the much talked about diversification of our national economy, as well as the answer of the 9th Senate agenda on the economy. Finally, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, is to say the least, the much needed catalyst to steer the country out of the economic downturn. I therefore urge you, my distinguished colleagues, to rise up and lend your support to the speedy passage of this bill to serve our fatherland, as it does not have any financial implication to government. In line with Order 76, subsection 3 of the Senate Standing Order 2022, as amended, compendium of the financial implication of the establishment of the authority is hereby attached. Finally, I urge you to give this bill the desired support and approval it deserves, in view of its peculiar nature and importance to the growth and development of the Nigerian industrial sector. Thank you for your support.
Distinguished Senator Yusuf A. Yusuf.
Thank you, Mr. President and my distinguished colleagues. I rise to support this bill for the following reasons. For so many years, we have been trying to have a tool to assist in the diversification of the economy of this country, but we have always been short of the right tool. I think this bill is going to provide the platform and a tool for the diversification of the economy. However, to diversify the economy, we need the authority, and at the same time, we need to look at the fundamentals of the economy. One of them is the attitude of the Nigerian people. Example, many of us today have unsatiable interest for foreign goods. We spend so much money, so much foreign exchange on putting up the employment of other nations against the employment of Nigerian people. Secondly, we need also to look at the value of our currency vis-a-vis the other values of the other currencies. What I mean here is our currency, in my own opinion, Mr. Chairman, my distinguished colleagues, the Naira is not overvalued. The Naira is undervalued. I am yet to be given a good reason why our Naira is overvalued and continuously being depreciated by a model called classical economics theory. Mr. Chairman, we got to look at, in addition to establishing the authority, to look at the fundamentals into which the authority will work. I support the authority will give us a platform for the diversification of the economy. At the same time, we will look at, those fundamentals of savings, of utilizing, our banking system rather than the central bank usurping the powers of the other banks, the commercial banks, the development banks, which the CBN is doing at this point in time. Mr. Chairman, distinguished colleagues, I support this bill 100%, and I look forward to us passing it for second reading, and at the same time going into the public to find out what the public feels about this bill. Thank you very much.
Senator Mohammed Bima Nagi.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, my highly respected, distinguished colleagues. My name is Senator Bima Muhammad Enegi. I represent the people of Niger South from Niger State. I would like to start by commending my brother, Senator Sani Musa, for this wonderful bill. This bill is so important when you go through the history of developed countries. Industrialization is the foundation. We exporting raw materials can never get us out of the level that we are in as a developing country. For us to rise above this level, we need to industrialize. And by so doing, we'll generate a lot of employment for our youth. Government will get more money through revenue. There are a lot of advantages when industrialization takes place. Therefore, I would like to stand and support and commend my brother, and I support that everybody should support this bill for second reading. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you for being with us. At this point in time, we'll round off today's live broadcast of Senate Plenary. We will now hand you over to our studios to continue with our scheduled programs for the day. I am Ignatius Nkwo. Enjoy the rest of our programs.
And watch NTA International live on your TV, computer, iPad, tablet, and phone. Log on visiontv.co.uk and click on Entertainment, then NTAI. You can also download the iOS or Android app on your mobile devices to watch NTA International on the go, anywhere in the world. NTA International, your window to the world.
Our pastors, our imams, in every church, in every mosque, please realize that in the course of praying for peaceful and transparent elections, we all have duties beyond prayers. If we want a stable society before, during, and after the elections, what should you be saying to those that worship with you? All Sundays and all Fridays, you are saddled with the responsibility of bringing up good generations. It is therefore your duty to both man and God to ensure peace all the time, no matter about elections alone. People talk to people and people listen. Talk to your followers. Make them listen to ensure peaceful 2023 elections. This message from the National Orientation Agency.
From dusk to dawn, 24 hours a day, NTA International is with you in your living room, office, everywhere and anywhere. We provide the company you desire in terms of balanced and up-to-date news, programs, and the best of entertainment. Tune in to DSTV channel 251, GoTV channel 91, Freeview UK channel 264, or you can download www.visiontv.co.uk, app for iOS or Android. You can also see us on Facebook and YouTube for quality content on the go. NTA International, Africa's window to the world.
What is happening? Your eyes are red. You are armed with a machete and a gun.
See, I am angry and I can't even contain it. See.
Oh, my guy, calm down, calm down.
See, Oga, I have planned to go and destroy these people's businesses in the city. I have to retaliate for what they've done at our own place. They cannot eat their cake and have it now, never.
If you destroy their business here and they destroy that of those close to you over there, especially that your brother who sends you steady cash, how would you survive? Would your dreams be on hold?
See, what you're saying is correct, but I'm still angry.
The best way is to embrace peace. With peace and unity,
my people, let us embrace peace and unity. Let's learn to live as brothers and sisters for a progressive, prosperous nation. This message is brought to you from the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
From dusk to dawn, 24 hours a day, NTA International is with you. In your living room, office, and everywhere, anywhere. We provide a company you desire in terms of balanced and up-to-date news, programs, and the best of entertainment. Tune in to DSTV channel 251, GoTV channel 91, Freeview channel 264, or live streaming via www.visiontv.co.uk. And to watch NTA International in the USA, Canada, and Mexico, use the following satellite parameters. You can also see us on Facebook and YouTube for quality content on the go. NTA International, Africa's window to the world.
When it comes to food, Nigeria certainly isn't lacking in great cuisine. But when it comes to mouth-watering cuisines, many are of the opinion that very few ethnic groups in the country could compete with the people, that's the Efik and Ibibio of Cross River and Akwa Ibom states. You want to know more? Keep it locked. Welcome, it's Bon Appetit, a culinary adventure showing on the NTA. I am Saratu Saiduchuri and I'm elated to have your time. Let's learn more about the Calabar people.
Calabar people belong to three principal landlord kingdoms, namely the Kwa Kingdom of Ekoi or Bantu origin, the Efik, and the Efik kingdoms. The Kwa Kingdom has the Indidem as the Grand Patriarch. The Efik have the Muri Munene, and the Efik Kingdom Patriarch is known as the Obong. Within the last 100 years, a gentleman's agreement to merge these three zones into one, with a single title ahead as the Obong, and the distribution or opening up of the title to all Efik wards was reached. Calabar people are mainly from the Greater Calabar District, Calabar South, Calabar Municipality, Akpabio, Bakassi, Biase, Odukbani, and Akampa. But as commonly used in Nigeria, the term Calabar people could also refer to the indigenes of Greater Calabar, as well as the people of the original southeastern states of Nigeria, who are at present the people of Akwa Ibom State and Cross River State. The city is a major center of tourism in Nigeria. The Calabar Carnival is the largest street cultural festival in Africa. The carnival holds in December of every year and attracts thousands of visitors and guests from all parts of the world. The Efik are an ethnic group located primarily in southern Nigeria, in the southern part of Cross River State. They speak the Efik language, which is a Benue Congo language of the Cross River family. Edikaikong is a vegetable soup that originated among the Efik. Afang soup is another popular cuisine which originated from that part of Nigeria, enjoyed all over the Federation and beyond. Efik women's main dresses are the onyonyo and the ofodu called anwang. They are mostly used as bridal outfits. It has been suggested that the onyonyo's resemblance of Victorian gowns is as a result of the influence of the Scottish missionary Mary Slessor. The Afodukong Anwang includes a sleeveless top and short skirt, both accessorized with coral beads, and their bakokwa, fuzzy ornaments decorating the arms and legs. Other attractions in Calabar include the Obudu Cattle Ranch, Slave Museum, Calabar Free Trade Zone, Sinapa Business and Tourist Resort, the Cultural and Civic Center of Calabar, amongst others.
Generally addressed as Calabar people, these tribes are known for their mastery of local ingredients, expert handling of seafood, and aromatic spices. In fact, folklore has it that a Calabar woman's food can lead a man to do whatever she wishes. Today, I have with me an Ibibio woman. So ladies and gentlemen, grab your notepad and just wait for it. Alright, now that you know a bit about the people and also a bit about my guest chef, it's time for me to unveil her to all of you. Welcome, and we're glad to have you on the program. Thank you. She's going to tell us what we're going to have today on the program. It's a 2-course meal. We have a starter and, of course, a main dish.
The starter, we're going to have fresh fish pepper soup, which is mama ferret. You know, Obarose.
Mama ferret. Tilapia fish pepper.
Yeah.
Okay, so for our main dish, what are we cooking?
We are going to cook atama soup. Atama soup. And we are going to eat it with, actually you can eat it with either semo, gari, fufu, what have you, anything swallowed. Even to anything, amala, you can eat it with anything swallowed.
So are we ready to start cooking?
Yeah.
Let's get started.
Yeah, we are washing the fish. Okay. My daughter is helping me to wash. I'm trying to fix it.
Well done, NC. Thank you. That's the tilapia.
Yes. Okay. So this is scent leaves, then done. It's done. Scent leaves, done. This is the native spices, so many put together. And we are using fresh fish. We add a little bit of that fish too. This one is just to decorate it, to beautify it, you know. And onions.
Okay.
Salt.
So you actually use more of dry pepper than fresh pepper?
Yeah, of course, because it's dry pepper that is really hot.
Wow.
Yeah. The fresh pepper is not, you have to put a lot of it.
Yeah, that's
to
right.
give you that hot
right.
this but so if you want it hot and you don't have to use too much of the fresh, then you have to add the dry one.
Okay, noted.
Yes. Because if you use too much of this, it will change the color of the pepper soup.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do now, I'm putting onions first and salt.
Okay.
Then our usual seasoning.
I see you don't use too much seasoning.
No. I'm putting the whole of this because we don't have enough quantity. So I'm putting the dry pepper now. The fresh pepper is there already. Then the onion.
But to really bring out the spiciness and not change the color.
Yes. That's it.
You said this is a mix of various local spices.
Yes.
I see you have little water there. Any reason?
Yes, I want to know the quantity of water that you want to come out from the fish before I can add another one.
Okay.
Yeah. And when you put too much water at the same time, it can scatter the fish.
Okay. Wow.
So you allow the fish to bring back itself. Then before you add water.
Okay.
You know, fresh fish does not take time to get done.
That's right.
Yeah. So I will cover it a little bit, like 10 minutes, 5 minutes. Okay.
What are you doing, chef?
Why I'm doing that is to separate them.
Okay.
So that they don't stick. Yeah.
So you pick it and shake it?
Yes. You shake it to separate the fish.
Wow.
So that they don't gum or stick together. Yeah.
And then you don't use a spoon so it doesn't scatter it.
That's it. When you finish doing that, then you can now check with the spoon whether they are okay. They are on their own.
Yes.
We'll add a little more water.
Okay.
Then the final
ingredient.
Which is
wait for it.
I have to add the last ingredient,
which is the
simply done.
Now you know
my own dialect.
Last but not the least, and what does this do to the pepper soup?
This aroma that comes out of it. Wow. And it makes now. You know, you just want to have balanced diet. Anytime you cook or you prepare something, you just have to balance it. This is part of vegetable. That's true. Add to protein. That's true. And you know, the other things that you put like pepper and all that gives you other things also. Exactly. You know, so you just try to balance it. At the same time, you want to have a good aroma. That's right. And also the taste, most important. Yes, yes. I just wanted to steam out for 2 minutes. Okay. Or 60 seconds. Okay. We move it to the table. Okay. Steaming hot. You have to steam the meat first with the water from the meat. You don't put water right away when you're steaming the meat. Then you put pepper, onions. I'm putting onions now because I cannot put the onions inside the soup. I put it to steam the meat. That's it for steaming of the meat. That's all you need. Onions, salt, pepper, seasoning. The palm kernel. That is the main ingredient for the soup. That's what we want to make the soup cooked. And we are going to pound it now to extract the water and the oil. Okay. Bring the okay, then so what do you want to achieve with it? Oh, what you're going to get out of it, extract from it, is what you call banga. Okay. But is this banga soup? It's the same way, but it's just that others, like the Delta people, they eat a lot of it, but they don't add the atama leaf. Okay. But they do it the same way, they count it the same way, it's the same company. But their mode of preparation is different. They only use this. They don't add any other thing to it apart from the ingredient. It's, you know, the atama. I think it's only or just from Portugal and Libya as a fiber that really it is atama. So many people don't have it, and so many people don't know about it.
You see how united we are as a country. Yeah. Talking about Independence Day. Yeah. This is a popular delicacy, so to speak. But different parts of the country have different ways of preparing. Yes. So we're going to see, for the purpose of this production, how the Efik and the Ibibio people prepare theirs. Yeah. You need a pour, right? Yeah.
Let me do it the right way.
Of course, your hands are washed.
Yeah. Okay. I will need those. I will need that. Okay. All I need is this water.
So it will be pounded again?
No. This one can be used for something else. Wow. When it's dry, you can break it and eat.
Okay, that's right.
The nuts inside.
That's true.
Now I have to filter it.
There goes the pan.
Yeah. This is what you have from it. Yeah. To start cooking the soup, already I have my goat meat. that is boiled already. Then the stockfish, all these things are optional. Some people use only dry fish to cook it. Also. Then I'm going to add baka water.
Okay.
If I need it, I will add more.
Okay.
I'm using cow leg here, full and shake.
Okay.
And dry fish, I'm going to use snail.
Should I come with the snail?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. So that is the dry fish. That is the snail. And shake.
Yeah. All parboiled already.
Yeah. Optional. All these things are optional.
Okay.
You can decide to use only one thing. You can decide to use cow leg. You can decide to use dry fish only. Like in the village, we use dry fish only.
Okay. Yeah. And see, periwinkles and the lights, right?
It's not everybody. It's not compulsory. You understand? It depends on what you want.
Okay.
Like what I'm using now in the place of periwinkle, because I know that because based on my business experiences, over years, a lot of people don't even like it. Except they happen to come from Akwa Ibom or rivers or delta and all that. So I use this in place of periwinkle.
Okay.
Yes, the snail. So that's it. I'm going to
But like you rightly said, it's a matter of choice.
Yeah. It's what you want.
You can either use what's accessible to you or what you like, what your taste can take.
So we're going to add pepper to it and salt. I had already added salt when I was steaming the meat, so I have to wait until it stains. Then I now do the testing if there is
to correct this.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's dry pepper.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now we are going to steam that for a while, maybe for 10 minutes or thereabouts. Okay. Then we now add atamali.
So now you're putting the
atamali.
Okay.
It's dry. When it is dry, it brings out the aroma.
Better than the fresh one.
Yeah. That's it. And the seasoning. You see that watery something? How it is?
Becoming thick, right?
It's now thick. You can add water when it's too thick.
Okay.
Yeah. If I add this one, it will still give me the same result.
Wow.
So I better add water. Okay, that's it.
But what's the best?
Because the soup actually is not supposed to be so thick. You understand? So we let it steam for 7 minutes.
Okay.
It's done.
Wow. Well done, chef.
We steam the water to boil. Bring it to boil. Then we're going to remove it. Then
this swallow, you're about to
be
prepared off the fire.
Yes,
but the water is made to boil.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So like this is gari flour.
Yes.
It's so fine.
Okay. Put it to state.
Good thing. Can I try to turn?
Okay. Are you strong?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll try.
If you're strong, turn it.
I'll try.
That's why you're doing epic woman style.
Oh, that's how they. Wow, you
I'm not women style.
Okay. ethnic women.
Food pot, they do it, with time. You're calling it well.
Yeah. Oh, I'm glad.
Let me help you now.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. You've done so well. It's not difficult to make it. Very easy to make. Very smooth.
And it's
nice.
Gary. Well
That's
done.
it.
Well done. All right, it's my favorite time of the program, which is that point when we get to taste what our guest chef has prepared for us for the day. I'm not going to do this alone. I have with me Nana on the dining table to also get to taste and give us her opinion about what our lovely chef Topsy has put together for us today on the program. Okay, so let's dig in, Nana. We're beginning with the starter. So let's see.
Yeah, go ahead so that you can give me the credit.
You know you're eager to hear. And it looks like you're going to make a pass mark.
Oh, really?
Already.
Oh, I'm happy already. Good.
Wow. This is excellent. Honestly, this is excellent. You see, I have to make a little confession here. I used to prepare pepper soup in a very, very different way. Okay. Honestly, but I've learned from you.
Okay.
I always try to achieve this color.
Okay.
But I never get it right.
Really?
Yes.
So you see what
I've seen what you've done, and you've taught our esteemed viewer also.
Okay.
If you followed closely the program today, she said she let it out. How to do it, how to help you, women like myself alike, with the preparation of pepper soup to get the right cut. Look at the vegetables.
Are you sure it's good?
Yeah, it's really good, man.
Okay.
I love it. Well done, chef. Yes. So we're done with the starter. It's now time for us to taste the main course. Okay, we're about to taste the efere abag. Yes, and we're going to eat it with
Gary.
So let's begin. How
can you see?
Yes. It's unbelievable. Gary and with this salt.
Yes.
It's palatable. Honestly, very tasty.
This is really nice. This is the first time I'm tasting gravy like this.
How about the soup? Have you tasted the soup before?
No. A tama soup, no.
It's an assortment of meat.
Yes, I can say
and fish.
Yeah.
Anything you want to put inside.
It's a
if you
matter
want
of
to
choice.
put everything. If you want to use only dry fish to cook it, fine. You want to use only stockfish? Whatever you want to use.
Only seafood. Wow.
You can use fresh fish to cook it too. Yeah.
This is impressive.
I love it. This is my own traditional soup. I can't forget it. When I used to stay with my grandmother, this is soup she used to cook on and on and on.
That's right. Thank you so much. Exactly. So with so much love from here, we are all saying, Priya. Enjoy yourself. Thank you so much. Nigerian food is generally very rich and is as diverse as the country. With over 300 ethnic groups in Nigeria, the country stands as one of the most culturally diverse in Africa. While many dishes have managed to transcend ethnic borders, they are still known to be indigenous to particular areas. Calabar delicacies are among such. It will tease your appetite and leave you wanting more. It's been Bon Appetit, a culinary adventure. Please send in your comments and suggestions on our social media handles popping right now on your screens. Next week, God's willing, I'll be here with another package.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can watch NTA International live on your TV, computer, iPad, tablet, and phone. Log on visiontv.co.uk and click on Entertainment, then NTAI. You can also download the iOS or Android app on your mobile devices to watch NTA International on the go, anywhere in the world. NTA International, your window to the world.
Our pastors, our imams, in every church, in every mosque, please realize that in the course of praying for peaceful and transparent elections, we all have duties beyond prayers. If we want a stable society before, during, and after the elections, what should you be saying to those that worship with you? All Sundays and all Fridays, you are saddled with the responsibility of bringing up good generations. It is therefore your duty to both man and God to ensure peace all the time, no matter about elections alone. People talk to people and people listen. Talk to your followers. Make them listen to ensure peaceful 2023 elections. This message from the National Orientation Agency.
From dusk to dawn, 24 hours a day, NTA International is with you in your living room, office, everywhere and anywhere. We provide the company you desire in terms of balanced and up-to-date news, programs, and the best of entertainment. Tune in to DSTV channel 251, GoTV channel 91, Freeview UK channel 264, or you can download www.visiontv.co.uk, app for iOS or Android. You can also see us on Facebook and YouTube for quality content on the go. NTA International, Africa's window to the world.
"24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can watch it.
This is the network service of the NTA.
NTA. You can't beat the rich.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can watch NTA International live on your TV, computer, iPad, tablet, and phone. Log on to visiontv.co.uk and click on Entertainment, then NTAI. You can also download the iOS or Android app on your mobile devices to watch NTA International on the go, anywhere in the world. NTA International, your window to the world.
It becomes harmful and damaging when used without discretion and thoughtfulness.
Is chiefly induced by environmental conditions or stimulus and emotional instability. Work-related stress is the second most commonly reported condition in the self-reported work-related illness. According to research, Results between 2011 and 2012. An estimated 428,000 workers suffered from work stress. Stress affects different people in different ways, but generally, the chemicals that are released by the body as a result of stress can build up over time and cause various mental and physical symptoms. These include irritability, anger, depression, anxiety, food cravings, lack of appetite, headaches, sleep difficulty, and the list is endless. How one handles one's stress depends on the causes and the symptoms, but it is imperative to note that once the pressure or threat has passed, your stress hormone level will usually return to normal.
Information is power. Everyone wants power. So feel powerful with the NTA News mobile app, the one-stop information center. Real news at your fingertip. Be the first to report by uploading first-hand information on the You Report link, and be the first to know by simply clicking on any of the links on the sidebar for headlines, domestic and foreign news, economy, security, politics, sports, and more. Stream live on your smartphone and tablets and stay connected. It's pretty easy. Simply download NTA News app from your Google Play Store and you're good to go. NTA News mobile app, your access to real-time information.
Online.
It depends on the velocity of the rain.
I was just gonna ask you about okay, to keep talking. All right, so I'm still talking and I really don't know what else to say. Even me.
From dusk to dawn, 24 hours a day, NTA International is with you in your living room, office, everywhere and anywhere. We provide the company you desire in terms of balanced and up-to-date news, programs, and the best of entertainment. Tune in to DSTV channel 251, GoTV channel 91, Freeview UK channel 264, or you can download www.visiontv.co.uk, app for iOS or Android. You can also see us on Facebook and YouTube for quality content on the go. NTA International, Africa's window to the world.
Hours a day, 7 days a week. You can watch NTA International live on your TV, computer, iPad.
Yes, we had quite some technical issues, and well, the good thing is that we're back, and together we are going to make the rest of our 1 hour worth the while. Well, if you're just joining us, the program is the Medley Show with me, simply Cecil. Cecil Egbele is my name, and what we're going to do today, we'll be talking about the week we're celebrating. The first week in October every year is celebrated as the Customer Service Week. Yeah, I know many of you in your bank apps and many of your other apps or your emails, you would have received mails from your service providers telling you it is World Customer Service Week, many of them promising to give you the best of service and all. And now that's what we'll be talking about as we go on the show today. And of course, this is the 31st year that the Customer Service Week is being celebrated, and the theme for this year is Celebrate Service. So anyhow, but I'm going to tell you a little more about what we'll be doing on the show and the part you will be playing. But first, let's get to meet my friend and guest, my colleague actually. I'm talking about Tochi Oputa.
Hey, it's good to be on the Medley Show again.
Yes, nice to have you, Tochi, on the Medley Show, and I know that you're one of those who must have had the very best of services. Please, true or
sorry,
true?
What?
I don't know. See,
we've all had our fair share of bad customer service, from banks, from stores, malls, supermarkets, even security men. So yeah, everyone has had their fair share, even online.
Okay, you know, when you mention security, man, you know, the first point of if you're going to establishment, the first person you meet at the gate should be your first service provider, right?
Yes.
So that's with that you can actually judge to
even fuel stations.
Even fuel stations. Yeah. Okay, but just for you share with me the fuel station one. Tell me, have you received, like I have received quite a number from my banks, from even AEDC, yes, emails, messages.
I even received from FIRS. I've received from tons of organizations saying Happy Customer Service Week, what can we do for you this week, blah 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 blah, you know, we'll be here to give you I have received lots of messages.
Yes, and you're falling for that, all right?
No, all right. For some, it's good to see because some have actually been good.
Yeah, okay, yes, some have actually been good.
Is okay, but for those who have been terrible, I'm like, please.
You know, I've received quite some messages. Some people post on their status that you'll not be getting response to say, and I saw that Nigeria has one of the worst customer service. And when I traveled to it, someone said even when he traveled to Ghana or Togo, one of the neighboring countries, that he even had better service getting here, even from the airport and everything. But you are going to share with us your fuel station.
Oh yeah, so a few days ago I went to the fuel station to buy fuel. So there was a little queue, so I moved up to park like somewhere so that would be closer, you know. So this guy comes, he's frowning, and then I was with someone, and then he tells the guy, can you tell the person you just finished selling to move forward? And he looks at us and walks away, and we're like, uncle, we're not fighting with you. So eventually it gets to our turn. I said, oh, I want to pay with POS. He said, why didn't you tell me now? Why did you allow me return the POS? Then he sighs and walks away. We just waited patiently. He came back. But the thing is, when people act like that, eventually he did sell the fuel to us. But when we're leaving, he started raining insults on us because I had to tell him, uncle, you don't have to be rude. If it was your personal business, you would not speak to me this way. You're indifferent because you're working for someone. So whether you sell or not, they will still pay you. But you didn't care if I came back here or not. You understand? So yeah, so a couple of them.
Yeah, just last night, I had one. I went to an eatery somewhere in Wuse too. I'll just try to protect their name right now. I walked into the eatery, so I was on a queue. The lady who's supposed to be attending to my queue, just before my turn, she walks away, and I was there. And they kept attending to every other person. Then I saw the next lady but I came before the lady at the next counter. But I came before these other people. And nobody you go stay for that line where person no day. And I was like, serious? I mean, you know that your colleague has just left. Why don't you just tell me, come this way, let me attend to you? You tell me, say, nobody you go start for one person no day. And I was like,
and the money we had paid with POS did not get into the account. And I'm like, and you're telling me a week later? He says, oh, blah blah blah. I said, okay. So I went to the bank to check it, and they said, oh, the money didn't go through. I have to wait for 10 days for it to reverse. So that period, that particular bank, I went to like 5 or 6 different branches, and their customer service reps were the worst. Like, I haven't seen anything like that in my entire life. It was as if they planned that every. Do you know, before it even got to my turn, I saw one of the customer service reps talking to a guy, a full-grown man. She was shouting at him and said, I beg, don't disturb me. Say, go and sit down. I almost got into the conversation, but I'm like, Tochi, mind your business. Because, and the guy was begging him. I mean, it's his money that is paying your salary. He didn't have to be rude to him. But 10 days later, when I went back to rectify the money issue, because I had to now go and pay the fuel station with cash, I met one lady. Oh, can I give her a shout out? She was so amazing. Her name is Use. Eventually, I told her what I had been dealing with all the other times I had come to the bank. She apologized, attended to me, and ensured that my money was reversed. That's, in fact, within the hour.
Oh, so I mean, something that they could even have done as quickly as...
They could have.
I don't know.
Just because they don't want to answer you at the time that you're asking, or for some reason they feel the need to be rude. You know, kindness is not so hard. But for some people, well, a friend of mine has told me that when people act like that towards you, they may just be dealing with something. But if it's like that, everybody in Nigeria
is dealing with something. You know, you can be part of this conversation. Tell us, what are your customer service issues you've heard in Nigeria? I don't know, it could be the airport, it could be power, it could be telecom, it could be, I know, airport, right? It could be whatever. You just share with us. What are some of your customer service experiences you want to share with us? If there are good ones, please do well. Talk about it and as briefly as possible to our phone line, and that is 081 177 82020. That's our phone line, 081 177 82020. And also, in the course of this program, we'd also like to celebrate our teachers. Today is International Teachers Day. We'll celebrate our teachers. But before we get to talk about our teachers, let's take this feature. Let's take this background feature, which takes a look at customer service. And then we'll be back to talk a little more on customer service. Keep your messages coming in, text messages and WhatsApp only.
The invention of the telephone by Alexander Graham Bell took customer service to another level. Without telephones, modern businesses could not build quality relationships with their customers. But customer service has evolved beyond just a telephone conversation, as we now have working departments, email support systems, live chat support, self-service content, and even forums. When a client feels unsatisfied with the level of service and goods provided, he seeks the intervention of a customer service representative. Customer service is the assistance and advice provided by a company to those people who buy or use its products or services. Each industry requires different levels and forms of customer service. Patronizing a place of business, one is expectant to get the best. It is assumed that the business place is also prepared to give its customers top standard treatment, so as to keep the customer coming back or recommend the business to potential customers. In order for this to happen, certain qualities must be possessed by staff of its company. Although large businesses have a customer service desk, it is always recommended that all staff possess qualities which include professionalism, patience, and a people-first attitude. With these qualities, the customer service representative uses them to help customers with complaints and questions, give customers information about their products and services, take orders, and process returns. By helping customers understand the product and answering questions about their reservations, they are sometimes seen as having a role in sales or the provision of services.
That's a background feature put together by Sam Ben. It's on customer service, just for us to have a big picture of what we're talking about for those of you who still trying to understand what the show is about. So we are talking, it's customer service week, the first week in October every year, and this week is the 31st of such celebration. So I'm here with Tochi, and we have been ranting. Well, and just so you know, we try to get the head of Servicom to be on the show. For some reasons, I understand she had to take a quick flight out of Abuja and can't make it. So we'll just go talking, and I believe that they are listening, and as much as possible they'll note most of our complaints and see how best they can help us address it. And I believe you can actually visit them on their websites to actually drop a complaint or two. And usually I think Servicom works when the customer service desk in the organization or the business is not responding to, cannot.
I think that's where you're supposed to take your complaint to.
Yeah, you first take it to the desk of the business of the organization. Yeah. So when they can't resolve it or you are having issues with them, then you can now
take it higher. Yeah.
Yes, and I understand that Servicom works for government organizations.
Yes.
Yeah. So for private, I think they should go to consumer protection.
They have their own customer service desk that handles complaints from customers. So it's not, of course it's private owned, so it has to be handled within the organization. So they have their own customer service desk that handles complaints from customers. That's what most of them do.
Okay, so if a private organization, they cannot address my I'm talking to you like you're yes, no, I'm just wondering, like, okay, if they are still not giving me the feedback or their customer service is very poor, I mean, I should have somewhere to go to. I think it's a Consumer Protection Council.
Consumer Protection Council.
Okay, well, we aren't authorities here, so we cannot really talk much about it. I see a number of you trying to call. Please don't call. Just send text messages or WhatsApp only to our phone line 081 177 2020. The number is actually showing on your screen. I talked about airports, Tochi, and you went like, oh no. Yeah, so airport is warm place. I don't know. I was reading somewhere top organizations or sectors that have very poor customer services. I saw airport there, I saw in telecom, I saw in power. So tell us your airport experience.
Wow. There are countless.
Or the one you've heard.
I haven't heard. I've experienced it like firsthand several times. There was this time I was traveling. I went to Lagos. I was on my way back. So my flight was for 9 a.m. Again, I'm not going to mention the airline, so it's not like I'm calling them out. So I got to the airport. No, before I got to the airport, I got a message saying your flight for 9 a.m. blah 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 has not been rescheduled.
Okay.
So I said, if it hasn't, why are they sending me this message? I was going to go to the airport an hour to my flight, but I said, let me just start going at about 6:30 to 7, just in case anything. So I started going to the airport. Then just as I got into the airport, I now got another message saying it had been rescheduled. So getting to the counter, I saw a lot of people that were already shouting. Like there were people saying, I have an interview, I have this in Abuja, I have that. And I was wondering, I had something to do at about 12 noon in the office. So I had to come into the office. So I saw someone who looked like maybe a manager or, the thing is, a lot of people were there ranting. They didn't even pay any mind to them. At some point, they left all of them at the desk and walked away. So I spoke to him. He said, look, Auntie, do you have money to buy another ticket? I said, that's not the response to my question. He said, because if you have, just go and buy, because we're not doing anything until 4. And he turns and walks away. Then getting to the exit, he turns and comes back and said, just in case you want to buy a ticket, I have someone's number I can give you. And I'm like, oh my god. I was stunned. I was standing there for some minutes. I was wondering, what did I just hear? And this was happening at MM1. So now I had to find a way to get to MM2 to buy another ticket, because I really had to come back. There's an airline that is even owing me like 36,000. Every time I go there, they tell me, oh no, when you bought, that was when airfare was still like 18, 20. They say, oh no, you bought a promo ticket. I'm like, how is a promo ticket 36,000 naira? You understand? So every time I go there, they say, no, you have to pay an extra, this extra, and you're complaining. Everyone is ignoring you and talking to the next person who's ready to bring money. So it's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. I've had my share of airport of airline experience like that. It's really crazy. But let's take a quick messages here. You are just introducing the topic customer service when NEPA struck with blackouts. Is it good customer service? I've been trying to I've tried to send money via a bank app for hours now to no avail. They even decorated their banking hall. yet he cannot walk well. I don't know what he's trying to talk about. Then he goes further to say that I invited the head of customer service in Nigeria, and she didn't show up. Is that bad customer service? Well, they actually sent a message that it's an emergency and she needed to make that trip. So it's understandable. All right, this person, please write your name, where you're writing from. Izuchuku texting from Ibadan says, shout out to all my teachers from primary to tertiary school. Yeah, that's good. First, okay, sorry, I was just gonna. It says a customer service in a certain bank are the worst of them all. They have failed to reverse my money after I did transaction via POS, and the bank debited me since May. That is 5 months ago, and I have not been to the bank uncountable times. This is an Adazion. All right, we'll take one more here. With the coming of fintech, what advice do you give to upcoming neobank startups? Okay, I can't give that advice. Toby Loba from FCT. Okay, I have a few more messages on WhatsApp and I have on text here too, but I will take them if I have the time. Okay, we're still going to talk about teachers. Okay, just for teachers, do send us a shout out to your teachers, your favorite teachers, as it's World Teachers Day and also it's Customer Service Week, and you have any issues on customer service you'd like to talk about, please do share with us. If they are good ones, I mean, knock yourself out, share it with us. We're ready to actually listen and celebrate it. All right, it's time for us to take a quick break and let's take a look at this report put together by Ebere. Now, this report takes a look at social media. Now, many people don't go bother going to the business place or to call them. They just go and rant on social media to tell you that can you imagine these guys have done this? Then everybody now pops up to say, now so they be. So now these guys. So this because they are already having apps in some of the social media platforms, they can answer you or they quickly go to address your issue before it gets to escalate. Anyhow, Ebere takes a look at social media and customer service.
The revolution of the internet and social media has undoubtedly transformed all forms of communication, including interaction between consumers and providers of goods and services. From inquiry to delivery to follow-up customer care, social media has made it easier than ever for customers to engage directly and quickly with businesses.
I actually prefer to make business inquiries online. I don't like to make phone calls because if I have to chat, I have receipts, I have information and inquiries that I can always go back to.
I prefer one-on-one meetings when I can, but since world has become a global village, Zoom is there and WhatsApp is also there. So when I can't hold a meeting physically, we're going online. The world has gone global.
It actually depends on the context of the business. I don't mind us chatting, but when it gets to a point where I need clarity, then I just put a call across.
I personally prefer to make business inquiry on the phone because there's more to our tonality when we speak. So I want you to understand what I meant by what I'm saying than just chatting. But it all depends on the location and the kind of business.
Social media has completely changed the face of customer service and the way customers interact with a brand. Instead of dialing the call center and going through the pain of dealing with agents who may not resolve complaints as at when needed, some customers prefer to post their issues on platforms like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or WhatsApp status, so as to generate reactions and ultimately get a prompt and satisfactory response to their queries from the company or service provider. Many companies today have integrated an omni-channel customer service approach to serving their clients and potential customers. They create several feedback channels, giving their clients the opportunity to reach them on their channel of choice.
If I'm debited and I didn't do a transaction, I reach out to the customer care or call my account officer to know what's going on. If it's only when he doesn't reply as fast as I want it, that I'll have to reach out to their social media handle.
Well, what do I prefer? I think I prefer what do you prefer? Walking or make a call?
I prefer in person. I prefer in person because sometimes, like someone said there, you need to understand what I'm saying. So sometimes chatting may not put across my message completely.
Phone call.
On the phone, the person may just be arguing with you. They could even hang up and not pick up again. I've had that experience. I ordered something, you sent the wrong thing. I'm trying to communicate to you on the phone, hung up the call, and did not take the call anymore. I feel like that thing that they say what I ordered was what I got started in Nigeria, because for some reason we have some of the worst online vendors in the world in Nigeria. I'm telling you. I'm not saying that you don't have other countries where they experience terrible online vendors, but in Nigeria it is crazy. They show you like a very beautiful picture, lovely picture, and then you when they're communicating, it's an amazing conversation. You know, when you're ordering whatever it is you want to buy, and then when they send it across, sometimes they won't even pick the call again. If they eventually do, they say, oh, madam, look at it well, okay, turn it like this, turn it like this, you know. And then next thing they hung up the call and they're not responding anymore, and then you're wondering. That's why sometimes I don't blame people go online to rant, because they need
to understand, like the customer care is not understanding.
I'm not seeing properly. Is this what I ordered?
Touchy, I don't know if I showed you the chair I actually to make.
Yes, I remember.
Like I tried to make or something like the very slick. The next thing I thought
was so beautiful.
Yes,
what they sent.
Then what they sent to me was a little worse than an Amoeba.
That craziness, yes.
Yes, and I told him that, okay, this is not what I said she making. I said, look at Nana, the same thing, just like this one does the. And I was not wondering, like, I had to put them and contrast to show everybody to say, okay, I think my site must be having an issue. Can you guys look at this? I mean, two opposites.
So my sister thought it's fun online. It's like a table. The picture, it looked so big, very beautiful table fan like this. And then she ordered. In fact, she said the price was so good. She ordered for 2. You know. So when it came in, I mean, the fan was not bigger than this. It was so tiny, and she called them. She said, "What's going on?" They said, "Yes, that's the part." She said, "No. You told me it was so big." They said, "Madam, do you know what?" She "We're sorry, but that's the size of it." She said, "Please, I need to send it back. I need my refund." They said, "Don't worry, we'll refund you the money. Keep the fan as well," because they couldn't. And she couldn't understand how that. You know, I think it was the way they took the picture. It made it look like the fan was so big, but then, and they would not explain at the first instance until you start complaining. Okay. I saw a lady post speaking about people who rant on social media. She ordered this lovely bikini online. It was so nice. So when they sent it, then she called them. She said, that this is not what I ordered. They said, "Madam, look at it well, look at it."
Are you sure she had the body to wear what she saw online?
No, it was so tiny.
Okay.
At least she now posted, at least it could fit my cat. She wore it on the cat, and it was the cat size, because it was so funny. Like you, and sometimes when I order and I ask you, this size 12 or this size 14, you're saying, is it really size 12? Is it long enough? Is it big? Because sometimes they have to ask those questions. If not, they could send you something that your child could wear.
All right, you know, Touchy, let's take a break. Let me laugh as much as I want off camera. All right, there's a little skit that a couple of guys put together trying to express some customer service issues. All right, let's have a look at it and then we'll be back.
Purchase your tracks today. Purchase your tracks today.
Hello, how much is this?
Yes.
Excuse me, please. How much is it?
Oh, God, can't you see how money call? Hold on now. I'll get back to you. Hold on.
Wow. Is that how you treat your customer
I
here?
said that money call. I say, hold on.
That's fine. That's fine. We cry for jobs, and when we get it, we play away with it. We cry for money, and when we get clients, we treat them like trash. Poor customer service.
All right. Thank you very much for those who put that together. All right. Who is this now? Let's take some messages, text messages now. This is an incomplete messages, so I can't take it. Let's see this one. My experience was with one of the telecom companies in Gwagwalada last year, and the customer service told me they can't attend to me because there is no power and they don't have fuel. They don't have fuel in their generator. Wow. Okay. Welcome to. I don't want to say that. All right. Patience is something is calling to message is incomplete, so send it again. I wish all the teachers Christ blessings. Amen. Happy Teachers Day by Sister Benedicta Uberiase from Edo State. Okay.
Nice.
Okay, nice one. My name is Solomon Lamtu. I was a victim of POS cash decline and I was debited. I went to the bank, filled up all the necessary documents, but till now there is no refund. Sorry, I think many people like that. I have a case too. I have one too. I made a transaction and this is like 2 weeks now. I've not had any. They just told me, don't worry, you'll get it.
To me too. I bought airtime for data and it didn't reflect on my on my number. I never got it back. I went to the bank several times. I just got, sometimes you end up spending more money pursuing the one that you lost, because there was a bank that I transferred money to someone. It didn't go through, so I went there. They said it was something error, dispense error. I should fill the dispense error form. I filled the dispense. I went there several times. By the time I checked the transport and the fuel I was running to go and pursue the one that I just didn't bother going back, and they never reversed the money.
All right, I'm HOD from Port Harcourt. I did a POS transaction via a particular bank terminal since October 2019. Transaction was successful, but I didn't get the value. All right, let me go on our WhatsApp line and take a few more messages here. My name is Jude Chinedu from Benin Republic. The main reason why customer service in Nigeria is poor is because, one, they are working for someone else, rude in the part of the workers, not reporting their poor service delivery to the owner. Most workers don't like their job, poor salary of the workers. Okay, he goes on to talk about so much. Then he says that he would like to wish Happy Teachers Day to his English teacher, Mr. Emeka Namdi, in Enugu Community School. And he mentions the name of the village, very long name, I can't pronounce it, sorry. All right, Blessing from Lagos. Wow, your message is long. Hi, good afternoon, both of you, and I trust you must say you both look beautiful. Talking about customer care service in Nigeria is 5 over 100. Wow.
Wow. Oh no, maybe we should try sharing some good experiences too. It's happy customer service. It doesn't look like
it's all bad.
We've had some good ones.
I'm hoping I will get to see some good ones. She was good for that to say I experienced similar in an eatery, and very something like mine. I can't take it very long. On the issue of bank, I think bank service should be the easiest service for us in Nigeria. Since last year, they had my 200. Oh my, I'm looking for good ones. Good afternoon. I want to make a shout out to any government teacher. This is Edwin, aka Dr. Terry. Happy Teachers Day, sir. All right, let's see. We can take this one. Hi, sister. Good afternoon from Port Novo, Benin Republic. I'm Mwa Guy.
Wow.
Big shout out to okay, big shout out to, because anytime I transact without dispensary, okay, it's giving a big shout out to Zenith Bank. He said that they always reverse the money whenever there is an issue. Okay, at least that's a good one, and we need to just commend them. Good day, thanks for the celebration of Teachers Day. And I don't understand your message. You're writing from Idiroko border in Ogun State. Hi, Medley. The thing is, when you put the wrong people in the right position, you will definitely get the wrong result. I haven't come across anyone because go straight to the manager if he has an issue. Let's talk about teachers now.
Oh.
So
Shout out to all my teachers from nursery to primary, secondary, to university, to every other training I've had to go through. Big shout out to all my teachers. Teachers are the best. They're very patient. Not all do, but a lot of them. I mean, we're here because we had good
good
teachers.
teachers, yeah.
So big shout out to all the teachers.
Yeah, it could also be even if we just had thick skin to go through all the all the hits they gave us. You
Yeah,
know?
that's true.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you remember one, two of your teachers' name in primary school?
In
Primary school.
Mr. Kingsley.
Primary school.
Yes, I remember Mr. Kingsley. Mr. Kingsley was at first he
Wow.
felt my handwriting was he made me repeat a class, but I feel like it was for the better because I think I was in primary 1 or primary 2. He would always complain about my writing that it was too big. So I now had to start taking, he started giving me special handwriting classes. Now they are complaining that my writing is too tiny. And then every time we would get pen pal letters from schools outside Nigeria, he would always put me in the group that he put me in the school choir. He put me among those that were, because he felt I was too quiet and I could do better. So he would tell me that I shouldn't always act like this. I can actually do better. So he kept trying to push me. I remember, I can see his face right now, Mr. Kingsley.
Have you
He
been
was
in touch with
amazing.
him, or do you know
No,
when?
I don't even know where to find
Find
him.
him.
But if he's watching, big shout out to you, Mr. Kingsley. You were amazing.
All right, secondary.
Secondary. Oh, I remember Mr. Udo. I remember Mr. Palm. I went to a lot of
You don't have
secondary
female
schools.
teachers in any of your schools.
Oh, Lord.
Well, they are not your favorite teachers.
Funny, thinking about it now, I don't remember any female teacher. To be honest, I don't remember any female teacher.
Okay.
Oh, no.
All right, so well.
I remember from Sister Amanfo. I went to a missionary school at
Okay.
some point. I remember Sister Amanfo. She was, oh my goodness, she was so strict. But it was an all girls school, so of course some girls would try to act off the what's the word now? Act crazy. Yeah. So Sister Amanfo was always there to set us straight. Very strict but full of love.
All right, I want to give shout out to what was the secondary school?
I went to 3 secondary schools. I went to Air Force Girls Military
Was your
School
father
in
traveling,
Jos.
or were you just stubborn?
No, I think I just complained a lot. I went to Air Force Girls Military School in Jos, but now it's called Air Force Comprehensive School, something like that.
Okay.
I went to Regina Patches Girls Secondary School in Area 3 here. Then I went to Government Gifted Secondary School in Gwagwalada.
Government gifted. All
Yes.
right. All right. Well, I attended Ojo High School in Ojo, Lagos, and my principal then, late Mrs. Chira, very, very, she's strict. She will always tell us that don't go where you're not invited. Yeah, I think 'cause when some guys are having their inter-house sport, maybe you don't have any invite there. So don't go there if you're not invited. So I always learned that if I'm not in your plan, then I stay out of everything. Then my maths teacher, I was in art class, and my maths teacher thought I was pretty good at math. I don't belong to art class. I should be in science class. I said, Oga, okay, it's not in pigeon though. I just told you that you don't understand. There's a reason why I'm in this art class. There's a place I need to work, which is here, by the way. So that's why I needed to be here and everything. So yeah, Mr. Mubi, I don't know, quite a number.
I hope I can give a shout out to Uncle Kenny. Uncle Kenny was yes, we used to call him Uncle Kenny because he was like an uncle that wasn't gifted. We're still in touch with him. He was so very patient. He dealt with all our, our youthful exuberance very well. He was very patient. Uncle Kenny, then my literature teacher, then Mrs. Chizoba. Now I remember.
Let us ask. All right, so in a minute we'll take one more feature. And hello, my I want to take for teachers now. A big shout out to all the real teachers out there. Teachers are nation builders. The government should always treat them very well at all times. Happy Teachers Day, Charles Ivoke from Ishiago in Ebonyi State, who is talking about teachers again. All right. Amoninyechi, shout out to my first teacher, my mom, and all teachers in Owerri Girls Secondary School, Owerri. Okay, that's good. Who is this? My experience. This is This is talking about customer service. Let me see. Do I have any teachers here? Okay, let me check on the mobile. Do I have any teachers? Oh, everybody's complaining. And you come on, we understand. All right, who is this? Happy Teachers Day, Abu. You didn't tell us where you're writing from. Happy Teachers Day. We are still waiting for a minimum wage. Oh. Wow. Okay. All right. My name is Dino Simon from Akwa Ibom State. I'm also a teacher, so I would like you guys to celebrate us. Yes, it's Customer Service Week, and I must say nurses are customer caregivers. I would like you guys to address the routineness of nurses to patients whenever they need their services. Wow. All right, yeah, in the hospitals or that place where you get anyhow, but not all nurses. Yeah, some nurses. Anyhow, we actually went on the street and actually started to know from some of you your customer service experiences. All right, let's see the much we can take.
My worst customer service experience so far has been with an airline. I flew to Port Harcourt last week, and when we did the check-in, and when I got to the foot of the aircraft, the air hostess asked me for my face mask. So, I'm fully vaccinated. Generally, COVID restrictions and COVID guidelines have been, stepped down a little. I haven't flown in a while. So when I got to the foot of the aircraft, the first guy asked me for my face mask. And I was like, why did you have to wait till I got to the foot of the aircraft? So where do you expect me to get a face mask now? He said, they won't allow you in. I said, well, something will have to be done because boarding has been concluded. So I went up into the aircraft and the air hostess asked me for my face mask. I said, I have to get a face mask. Where do you expect me to get a face mask at this point? I mean, hello. And she's like, when I came into Abuja, didn't I use a face mask? When I flew into Abuja, I live in Abuja. So then she started putting words into my mouth. No, I shouldn't force her to give me a face mask. I should not instruct her to give me a face mask. Hello, you even have a face mask. I didn't know you have a face mask. Can you give me a face mask? And she was so, rude, and she kept attacking me, and I was like, it was like the general normal Nigerian tone. So my final question to her was, how much is your face mask? She just turned, handed the face mask over, gave it to me, didn't even tell me, looked away, and it was like a wave off. Rather than tell me, look at my ticket and tell me where to drop. I really would love to mention the name of the airline, but I won't do that.
The last experience I had was not something to write home about. In fact, can I use the word crazy? I actually went to visit a friend, so we decided to get something from a store. After getting it, the receptionist, or should I say the customer care agent, was waiting for us to tip her. I don't know, probably that's how customer service do, but it's becoming a routine for them.
From the gate of this hotel that we went to, we felt like a criminal because of the way the security guard, was attending to us. And eventually, when we got to the reception, the lady, at the table was frowning all through. She was just pointing and pointing as if we were there before. Instead of them to look for someone that would take us to the room, that we wanted to check. And eventually when they took us there, it wasn't what we wanted. And the price was outrageous. So we decided to leave, and we said, okay, let's go to this very hotel that we felt we should have gone to. And when we got there, from the gate, at a point, I felt, do I know that guy, the security guard? Because of the way he attended to me. And when we got to the reception, they were all smarts. And number one, the room was very okay. It was more than what we wanted. The price was like 1/4 of what we budgeted for. And needless to say, the place became home for us. And that is it. The power of, customer care. It's beyond just the personality. I believe it's a skill.
I need them to express themselves. Usually.
Okay, well, that's quite some experiences. I know that airline, that guy that talked about the face mask thing. Yes, it's
We've all had our share of that.
We all had our share of that. Let me see as many of these messages I can take. Maybe if you can help me, Tochi, maybe you read from this one.
Okay.
Just take it down. Let me take from text messages here. All right, let me take this one. Teachers in nurseries down to KG indeed deserves a very big thank you for their patience and care. My name is UK from Lagos. What do you have there?
It says, my name is Israel. Happy Teachers Day to all the teachers. Then this one is F. Emmanuel Adafe. Big shout out to all my teachers throughout my school years. Professor Itewange deserves a special mention. God bless you.
All right, teachers issue in Nigeria is a critical issue. Teachers teach senators, rep, doctors. Teachers are taking have low salary. Ahmed Oguche from Kogi State writes this one. Who is this now? My name is Joe from Bauchi. Happy Teachers Day to Mr. Sonny Bobo. Joanna, I'm hoping he's doing. I hope you are doing well with flogging. Seriously, that's not nice.
And shout out to all my teachers from Walter Gowans Memorial College, University of Just, and you, Cecil, who is teaching me scripting. Thank you for all you do.
Are you seriously?
Okay.
Who is the person? Oh, yeah, right. Okay, who is it? Good afternoon. Happy Teachers Day. I have a Teachers Day that have... Okay, it's an incomplete message. Please send it again. Let me take one more here. Shout out to all my teachers in Girls Secondary School, Owerri. God bless them. All right.
This is from Mary Martin. Said Happy Teachers Day to every hardworking teacher out there. To Mr. Fasakin, Mr. Dosumu, and Mr. Aguri. Thank you for all your sacrifice.
I'm Ghana Favor. Happy Teachers Day to all my teachers in Christ Apostolic College. Kobos. Well, okay, remind me how they pronounce it. You're from Jos.
Bokos.
Okay, Bokos. Oh, the spelling is terrible. Okay, Bokos in Plateau State. All right, that's good.
Then we have Emmanuel. He says, shout out to Mr. Kingsley, my maths teacher, who made me an engineer today. And all my primary school teachers, yeah.
Oh, that's nice. Happy Teachers Day to all teachers. I love you plenty. Agnes Peter, writing from Calabar.
Then this is Davis Mella from Abuja. He says, kudos to you guys discussing one of the most neglected topics in Nigeria. Most Nigerians don't appreciate those who patronize their services. Okay, that's still... Then he ends by saying Happy Teachers Day. It's quite a long message.
All right, quite a long message. All right, so, well, I would just like to join my voice with that of the many others congratulating teachers. I know...
This is Captain Sode from
Who is that?
Worry.
Captain
Sode from Worry. He says, shout out to his principal, late Mr. Michael Zeblon of Egbema Secondary School, Edo State. Yeah.
Okay. Who else is there? Who else do you have there? Okay.
I have... this is Wisdom Lazarus. He says he's sending this message from Delta State, and he's using this medium to say Happy Teachers Day to all the teachers at Lutheran High School, Obot Idem, and the rest of it.
Okay, I will just take this one, then we'll say our bye-bye. Good afternoon, I'm Joel from Agbo. Happy Teachers Day to my teachers in Owanta Secondary School, Agbo. Mr. Felix, Mama G, Mrs. Hart, Mrs. Juliet, my English teacher, Mr. Otoy, and so many others. All right, I just want to congratulate all teachers. You've made great men and women. Congratulations to you. Tochi, your last words on customer service and teachers.
Oh, okay. Customer service, I hope we can do better, because we all want the business, but let's do what we need to do to keep our customers. And Happy Teachers Day to all the teachers out there. And a big shout out to my friend IJ. She's a teacher. She's one of the most patient teachers I know. Big shout out to IJ. Happy Teachers Day to all the teachers out there too.
All right, so all the teachers, and not just teachers in secondary school, teachers who have taught us in our places of work and all that stuff. Like my teacher, Auntie Bola. All right, I have so many other teachers. Anyhow, thank you all for being who you are. And for customer service, please, at least a little smile can encourage. I know things are hard. Economy is bad. At home, you were angry before you left. But come on, I mean, give it a little smile. It can go a long way. All right, it's from me. It's thank you very much for being there and completing the picture with us. Let's do this again next week.
Bye-bye.
and welcome to another amazing edition of your weekend.
I'm telling you, oh, it has to be heat and it has to be steamy, it has to be hot, but we've decided that, somebody has to tell a story that is family oriented.
Welcome to another edition of Talking Movie.
Was everyone he ever cared about.
See, when you say pour out, you can't call water. You can't see, you don't excavate water.
This is a #1 program, Gallery.
Do you love to gist or gossip?
It's marriage is joke. It is extremely wrong. And we cannot take it.
Hello everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of Whip and Grill.
Welcome to the slant today, where we say it as it is and we get to enjoy ourselves talking about various things that are happening in our society.
Beyond 6 packs.
So your job still remains as the man to protect the woman, to project the woman.
You need to do that again.
Issues in the sports sector remain one of the most debated among Nigerians due to the passion, followership, government involvement, impact on Nigeria's external image and our national life in the sports parliament. The NTA offers Nigerians deep views on issues with experts in the sports sector, offering in-depth analysis, hindsight, insight and foresight towards elevating Nigerian sports to the zenith on the floor of the sports parliament. Sports Parliament, a unique platform for sports discussions, showing live on the NTA. Keep a date with the parliamentarians.
The eyes have it.
This is the network service of the NTA.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Your Health in Your Hands. I'm Dr. David Achibade, and with me on the show today is Dr. Ebony Lance. She is a neurologist and a developmental pediatrician working with the Kennedy Krieger Institute, which is, as you know, associated with the Johns Hopkins University based in Baltimore. She's pretty much seen it all and probably done it all. Maybe not. But we're just so privileged to have her on to help explain to us what she does, what she sees, and what can be beneficial for those of us who are not only parents, but also healthcare professionals who are working with these kids. Nigeria, of course, being #1 in the world when it comes to cases of sickle cell disease. So I think it's really, really important that we listen, and this is really good information. So Dr. Lance, thank you so much for the call, for joining us today.
Yes, thank you so much for the invitation. So yes, my name is Ebony Lance.
I'm a neurologist and a developmental pediatrician, and I work at the Kennedy Krieger Institute, which is a nonprofit hospital associated with Johns Hopkins, where I primarily see children with sickle cell disease and neurodevelopmental disorders. So as you were saying, yes, a lot of children with sickle cell disease are at risk for stroke. And there are different types of stroke that we are on the lookout for in these patients. So I think a lot of people know what stroke is, but just in case, when we're using the word stroke, we're talking about pathways that have somehow disrupted the blood flow or the oxygen trying to get to the brain. And so there are different ways that can happen. There are types of stroke that can be associated with bleeding. Those are hemorrhagic strokes. And then there are types of strokes that are associated with disruption of that blood flow, and that's ischemic strokes. And children with sickle cell disease are more commonly have the ischemic strokes, so that disruption of the blood flow to the brain. And the ischemic strokes can look just like stroke in adults. You can have these big symptoms of stroke where you have trouble speaking or your speech isn't clear. You have weakness on one side of the body or one part of your face can droop. And so those are the really big strokes. Typically, those are associated with the big blood vessels of the brain. And we used to see those a lot more commonly, but we've started being able to use different things to detect who is at risk for these larger strokes in the children with sickle cell disease in particular. Now, the most common type of stroke in sickle cell disease is called a silent cerebral infarct. And that's a lot more subtle than these larger strokes that we're talking about. So silent cerebral infarcts, you don't see those big symptoms. You don't have that difficulty with speech. You don't have that weakness, and you don't have that facial droop. You really don't have any symptoms, you know. Depending on where these happen, you might have some slight difficulties with attention or with memory. You might have some impulse control issues. And again, since we're talking about seeing these things in children, what that might look like is a young child, a child under 5, who might be a little more impulsive or have some behavioral issues. And then in older children between like 5 and 18, they may have some difficulties with school performance. And they may have some difficulties that look very much like ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Mm-hmm. Now, these silent cerebral infarcts, as I mentioned, are fairly common, but as you know from the symptoms I'm describing, they're also hard to pick up on. So from what we know, they're happening in 25% of young children, so children 5 years or younger, with SS or S beta null type sickle cell disease. And then for adults, they are happening in over 50% of adults over the age of 30 with sickle cell disease, SS or S beta null thalassemia types.
Wait a minute. You're saying that over 50% of the strokes that happen are like that, or are you saying over 50% of people who have this sickle cell disease have strokes?
Over 50% of adults above the age of 30 with SS type or S beta null type thalassemia type sickle cell disease have silent cerebral infarcts that we know of.
That is bizarre.
Yes, it's a very large number. And again, the symptoms are subtle. So these numbers might be even higher, and we don't know if it's higher or not. But it's these silent cerebral infarcts or these silent strokes that are really the concern, because we don't have a great way to predict who's at risk for them. We have some ways that we treat them, but the treatment is transfusion, and transfusion has a lot of risks and side effects. And we're not sure if it's, the ideal treatment for everyone. And once you have one of these silent cerebral infarcts or these silent strokes, once you have one, that puts you at increased risk for having more of them or for having those larger ischemic strokes that we talked about. So it increases your risk for more injury.
So what got us involved in sickle cell disease, like you and I have spoken about, is that there was a more what do you call that? The full strokes, the major cerebral infarcts that cause total paralysis in many cases. We were seeing them in kids below the age of 10 having multiple strokes, being wheeled in on their wheelchairs. And that was when I was like, what in the world? I mean, I couldn't believe it. So that's when we started looking into it and started doing what we're doing. And that's what brought us to this point. But then when I studied it, the statistics were about 10% would have a stroke, usually between the ages of 2 and 16. But 10% of kids or individuals with sickle cell disease would have a stroke. And usually it was between the age of 2 and 16. Now, what you're telling me is like, that blows that out of the water, though.
Yes. And again, the strokes that you're talking about are those larger strokes,
That people can see, right?
those larger cerebral blood vessels. And so those numbers, thankfully, are closer to 10% or even lower potentially. I don't know the exact numbers on those. But what is considered the most common neurological complication now in sickle cell disease are these silent cerebral infarcts. That again are not completely silent. You can have difficulties involving the parts of the brain that these lesions are occurring in.
So if a kid is showing signs of distractedness, not focusing in class, not concentrating, something that maybe that's happened recently, parents and caregivers should start thinking that probably this could have been a silent stroke.
That's correct. If you see a change in the child's academic performance, if the teacher is reporting behavioral concerns, that particularly if they weren't there previously, or if the child themselves starts to report difficulties with attention, with memory, with completing tasks, it's something that you want to bring to the attention of their doctor. And they really may have had a silent cerebral infarct, and they probably should have some sort of imaging to confirm that.
Okay, so we're going to get into what can possibly be done for these kids. But I had just recently, funny enough, a father calls me and he says he has a 19-year-old and a 9-year-old. The 9-year-old started acting funny, being more depressed, not able to put string words together. I talked to her on the phone, and yep, it seemed she couldn't really express herself well, and she was muddling words, but she seemed to be in good spirits. So, I mean, that's obviously, I thought about what you had told me about, and obviously it sounded like a stroke and all that. That she had multiple strokes. What do you do in such situations, and what can you share with us? I mean, obviously we have limitations back home, so what can we do practically back home?
Right. That's a difficult question, right? So I would say in my practice environment, when we see signs of a patient having a stroke, timing is everything for us. You want to note when is the last time that you saw the child and they were their usual selves. So once you know the last time that they were normal, you know about when this could have happened. And then it's important to get to a hospital immediately to get emergency care. And you want to go to the closest place possible, but you may have to, inform them, my child has sickle cell disease. I'm worried that they've had a stroke, so that they understand the urgency of what's happening. From there are a lot of things that become important in terms of managing stroke. I myself am not a stroke neurologist. I want to say that. And so there are a lot of intricacies to that treatment. And then there are also, again, limitations depending on your location as well. The most important things are usually blood pressure control. And then hydration is also a factor. So you want to be sure that you're monitoring vital signs, making sure that the blood pressure is high enough that blood is still getting to the various parts of the brain that need to be there, but that it's not too high. And essentially, after you get out of that acute stroke period is when you might want to see somebody like me, where I'm more on the rehabilitation side. So after there's been a stroke, after there's been brain injury, you really want a thorough neurological assessment so that you can figure out what function has been compromised. So whether that's use of a wheelchair, like you mentioned, because the legs may not be strong anymore, or difficulties with arms, difficulties with speech, as I think was mentioned in the case that you talked about. You want to make sure that you see a provider that can diagnose those things and get you appropriate therapy services, whether that's physical therapy, occupational therapy, or speech therapy, but someone who can help you work on regaining those skills. In children, that's particularly important. A lot of when we see children with brain injury in rehabilitation, we really talk about how important it is to have therapy as intensely as the child can stand early in the injury, to help them work on regaining those skills as much as possible that they've lost after the brain injury. There are periods of time in childhood where your brain can recover more easily from injury. And we try to take advantage of those periods in children and kind of retrain the brain, help it develop new pathways, and figure out different ways to do things to work around the injured brain tissue.
So like occupational therapy, speech therapy, things like that.
Yes, absolutely. And then it also becomes important to, again, see a stroke doctor, so that if there are other preventative therapies that you need to be on, like things like aspirin or other medications, they are the ones who would decide that. So following up with a doctor who knows about stroke and knows about sickle cell disease would be particularly important to determine what might be the next therapy for you. So again, whether that's something to more neurological to prevent strokes that we use in general, or if there's a sickle cell disease specific therapy that you should be on or can be on, that's something you'd want to know about too.
Well, one of the most depressing things about strokes and sickle cell disease is that once the stroke occurs, the disease doesn't let off and say, well, she's down and out. Let's give her a few months. Let's lay off for a while. And people, so many times the caregivers are so focused on the stroke that they forget about the sickle cell, the primary disease itself, and it strikes again and again and again and again and again, unfortunately. So it's very important that while parents are focusing on helping the child recover from the stroke, they also remember to keep on doing the basics, ensuring that the kids are hydrated, taking the supplements, doing the things that are needed to keep them from having the crises and at least to keep that thing under control and management. How about seizures? Do we see this with seizures with sickle cell disease as well?
We do see patients with sickle cell disease who have seizures as well. That's another common neurological complication that we see in these patients. Now,
how common?
Say that again.
Like how common? Like, do you have it percentage wise or anything like that?
I don't know percentages off the top of my head. It's not as common as stroke. I know that, but it does happen. It can be a symptom associated with stroke. A lot of patients with stroke with and without sickle cell disease actually present with seizures, right? Because when your brain is injured or damaged, a seizure can be the first thing that you see as a sign that something's wrong. And then there are obviously patients with sickle cell disease who also happen to have seizures in addition. And so it may not always be related to a stroke or related to sickle cell disease itself. It can also just happen in general.
I was just wondering whether it followed a sort of similar pattern where you have the glaring stroke and then you have the silent strokes, whether there was also in that same way the glaring convulsion or seizure, and then of course the silent seizure, but maybe that's not as clear.
It's not as clear in sickle cell disease. I will say that there are a lot of different types of seizures, some of which are subtle, difficult to pick up on. So I wouldn't call them silent, but they are subtle seizures. And so again, if your child is zoning out, that could be a seizure, for example, where they're staring off into space and people think they're just not paying attention, but in fact, they're having a type of seizure that's more commonly known as a staring spell. And you really want to make sure that you can get their attention if this is happening, and see if you can get their attention. Because usually if you're just daydreaming, somebody kind of waving their hand in front of your face or snapping their fingers or calling your name, usually that'll be enough for you to be like, oh, something's happening. But if you're having a staring spell, that doesn't always work. If you're having a seizure, that's a staring spell, that doesn't always work. So.
Oh, wow. And you said below the age of 5 is when these going back to strokes now. These are most.
So strokes are most common in children with sickle cell disease under the age of 10. That's from a natural history study, again, looking primarily at SS patients with homozygous sickle cell disease. So children 10 years of age. There are also increased periods of stroke in your 20s and in your 40s from that same study, but the highest risk does appear to be in children under 10. And if you break down the data, even more specifically, it looks like it's in children between 2 to 5 years of age.
That's okay. Is there any reason why? Maybe anatomy, physiology. What is? I mean, is it that the brain is growing and developing so quickly that it's sucking up all the energy and it's being deprived so quickly? I mean, what? Any reason for that?
It's complex. We don't know the exact pathophysiology, I think, of stroke and sickle cell disease. I would say that the research indicates that it's multifactorial, right? Yeah. So part of it is that the sickled red blood cells are damaging the vessels of the brain, the blood vessels of the brain, and that's causing some buildup and inflammation and some damage to the vessels as well. In addition to that, that may cause some inflammatory changes in the vessels, and those inflammatory changes can predispose you to stroke as well. And then there are some concerns about the cerebral physiology. So like you said, the brain, the developing brain is using oxygen at a high rate, growing at a fast rate. And so is somehow the metabolism in the brain in these younger children, is that somehow impacting stroke risk somehow? There is research that's looking into that looks promising for that being a potential cause. It's very difficult to study that in kids under the age of 5, right? To get MRIs, to get these detailed MRIs, get these detailed images in these younger kids is something that's extremely difficult.
Right. Well, I hope we get some answers not in the not too distant future. As you probably know, Nigeria has the worst by far. The numbers still say 75% will die by their 5th birthday. So when you say 5 years of age is when it's most common for them to have strokes. Again, that number comes up again. I'm like, we got to do something about this. Part of our goal with the Brain and Body Foundation, we've declared this over and over again, is to reduce that number from 75% to less than 10% by 2025. And obviously we can't do it on our own, and we're reaching out to the government. Thankfully, the government is in support of what we're doing, and state governments and local general hospitals, public hospitals. We're working with all these so that we can at least begin to work together to put an end, not put an end to it, but at least bring down those numbers, because to me it's frightening. So it is.
I think that's a wonderful goal. I think that's very important. Again, particularly in the young children with developing brains, to try to prevent as much brain injury as possible. And whether that's through finding it, figuring it out, diagnosing it early, recognizing it early, or preventing it from happening, we really need to do more for this population.
Absolutely. And thank you for what you're doing to help us do that as well. Appreciate your time again today.
Absolutely.
Dr. Ebony Vance, thank you so much. God bless. Yeah. Have a great rest of the day.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
In every church, in every mosque, please Realize that in the course of praying for peaceful and transparent elections, we all have duties beyond prayers. If we want a stable society before, during, and after the elections, what should you be saying to those that worship with you? All Sundays and all Fridays, you are saddled with the responsibility of bringing up good generations. It is therefore your duty to both man and God to ensure peace all the time, no matter about elections alone. People talk to people and people listen. Talk to your followers. Make them listen to ensure peaceful 2023 elections. This message from the National Orientation Agency.
From dusk to dawn, 24 hours a day, NTA International is with you in your living room, office, everywhere and anywhere. We provide the company you desire in terms of balanced and up-to-date news, programs, and the best of entertainment. Tune in to DSTV channel 251, GoTV channel 91, Freeview UK channel 264, or you can download www.visiontv.co.uk, app for iOS or Android. You can also
What is happening? Your eyes are red. You are armed with a machete and a gun. See, I am angry and I can't even contain it. See.
Oh, my guy, calm down, calm down.
See, Oga. I have planned to go and destroy these people's businesses in the city. I have to retaliate for what they've done at our own place. They cannot eat their cake and have it now, never.
If you destroy their business here and they destroy that of those close to you over there, especially that your brother who sends you steady cash, how would you survive? Would your dreams be on hold?
See, what you're saying is correct, but I'm still angry.
Best way is to embrace peace. With peace and unity,
my people, let us embrace peace and unity. Let's learn to live as brothers and sisters for a progressive, prosperous nation. This message is brought to you from the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
This is Sharp Kitchen made all the way from Germany. This is a rechargeable chopper. You pack the pepper, you chop your pepper to your taste. Wow! This is Sharp Kitchen made product. You can see garlic. You pack all the garlic here. Remember, it's the free gift. Buy one, go with this free. As you can see, you have your garlic. You pack ginger here. You use this now to chop ginger. Sharp Kitchen made Germany. You can see the ginger here. Very, very simple. You use this now to chop onions to your text. What is the name? Sharp Kitchen made Germany. You chop the onions to your text. You have your onions. Wow. You pack carrots inside. As you can see, that is the free gift. Your rechargeable chopper. You have your carrots. You pack okra here. That is the free gift. You chop okra to your text. Very, very simple. Remember, that is your free gift. As you buy the complete set, you go with this free. Very, very simple. You have your okra. With this multi-purpose, you can use it to slice cabbage to your text. If it is not Sharp Kitchen made Germany, don't buy. You have your cabbage for salad. Very, very simple. You can also use it to slice your onions to your text. Then you use it to peel back of cucumber. As you can see, round shape of your plantain. As you can see, your cucumber. You can also use it to peel back of your carrot. Very, very simple. You use it to peel back of your orange. You use it to peel back of your yam. Very, very simple. If it is not Sharp Kitchen made product, it can never be sharp. Then you also use it to peel back of your pineapple. This is the free gift. Buy one, go with this free. As you can see, it's multi-purpose. This cup you are seeing is unbreakable cup. Very, very simple. As you can see, it's iron to iron. Iron to iron. Sharp Kitchen made Germany. You can crush this bottle. As you can see, what you do for me, pick the bottle here. Very simple. Sharp Kitchen made original. Very, very nice. You can see the bottle, crush it. Very, very nice packaging. Sharp Kitchen made original. After finishing, you see the bottle. Wow. As you can see, you have your dry beans, dry corn, upper, bambara nut. Very, very simple. If it is not Sharp Kitchen made product, it can never be sharp. can see your Devino, very, very simple. You can see coconut, as you can see tiger nut, very, very simple. Then you apply water on it. Then as you're seeing, the engine is water resistant, as you can see. Very, very nice. You can see your dry corn. Wow. As you can see, you pack your tomato, you pack your pepper, as you can see, then you cover and blend your tomato to your left. Start putting that position up. After finishing, you have your tomato pepper. After finishing, you have your tomato pepper. As you can see, wow. After finishing, very simple. After finishing, you can have your pineapple, watermelon, tiger nut. As you can see, you pack your beans for beans for akara to the quarter of the cup, and little water on it. Very, very simple. Sharp kitchen make you blend your beans for beans for akara. Sharp kitchen make very, very nice for kitchen. What you do for me, and you have your beans for beans for akara. Very, very nice for your kitchen. Wow. 6.5 liters for 100,000, no more 130,000. 5.5 liters for 90,000, no more 120,000. 3 liters for 70,000, no more 90,000. Then as you buy, you go with these 2 free gifts. Rechargeable chopper and multi-purpose. You can see the phone cap approved. Very, very quality. So rush now to ongoing trade fair ending 14th of October.